okay, this person's got absolutely no fucking idea what they're talking about. Don't be fucking ridiculous. Don't be so fucking stupid. What the fuck are you joking? Do you know what I mean? Wow, you must have like a really, really strict diet. What you eating? Just spinach or something. And if you don't like it, then don't do it. Okay? But it is your fault that you are the size you are. It is your fault if you put on too much weight. I just like to hop on the back of that and give those people a hard time. Again, these people do not have any backing to be able to say that another person should follow them because they've got no qualification to. Yo bar, what's up and what's happening? And welcome back to It's the Yo Bar series with me, Chris Harding. I'd also like to welcome you back to another episode of Facebook Fuckers. So guys, the premise of Facebook Fuckers is basically where I have arguments as a nutrition coach with people who are giving other people nutrition advice and they don't know what they're talking about. So there are these Facebook groups which are basically designed for people to lose weight. This could be through ketogenic dieting, this could be through intermittent fasting, or just general weight loss. Basically, they're asking the community to give them some advice, but obviously this allows a lot of idiots to give really poor, shitty advice. And I just like to hop on the back of that and give those people a hard time. So on this particular Facebook group, which is to do with ketogenic dieting, this individual was asked, how many carbs should I stay under per day? And quite rightly so, a lot of people have advised her to stay under 50 grams of carbohydrates per day, which basically is ketogenic dieting at its core. Some people have recommended 25 grams or lower, which I feel is a little bit low, but it's completely up to them. They're only giving advice from their experience. I get that. But then as I scroll down a little bit further, this one person has said 0 carbs per day. I don't feel that's right, but I'm not going to say anything just yet. I'm going to see how this conversation unravels. So as you would expect, in a normal conversation, when someone says something which is like 0 carbs per day, people will then start to question that. So other members of the group has basically questioned this person and said, 0 carbohydrate per day? Are you sure? Is that sustainable? Is that something that you can manage all the time? And she said, yeah, absolutely. I manage it by having my fruit juice in the morning. Okay. I never bother to drink any water, just tea and coffee. I love to have my lattes in the morning too. So then around 5 or 6, which I'm guessing is basically in the PM, I have eggs or chicken, maybe bacon, steak, mince, sausages, beans, burgers, but no bab. Okay, this person's got absolutely no fucking idea what they're talking about. And then she's gone on to say that I do a lot of 48 to 72 hour fasting with minimal amounts of food. That it's not fasting. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. First of all, you said that you don't have any carbohydrate. You stated that you have 0 carbs, but you drink fruit juice, you love your lattes, and also you have beans with your sausages and burgers. What the fuck are you joking? Do you know what I mean? So in my opinion, it's not really a ketogenic diet. So I can't help but kind of jump into the conversation a little bit and just suggest to this person that they're not really on a keto diet if they're having fruit juice and lattes and they're having beans with their burgers. And also the fact that they're kind of eating or consuming something in the morning which is basically sugar or has got sugar in it, in terms of the fact that it's got fructose within the juice, and also the fact that when you're having the latte, well, you're having, you know, a form of lactose because there's lactose in the milk, unless you're having a latte which is maybe made of almond milk. Oh no, I stand corrected. It goes on to say that she has full fat milk with cocoa powder. But before I get a chance to really get into this argument with this individual, another individual who's answering the original question, which is basically how many carbohydrates do I stay under per day, has answered between 6 and 10 grams of carbohydrate per day. Wow, you must have like a really, really strict diet. What you eating, just spinach or something? So first of all, I don't believe the individual who said that they can sustain their keto diet on basically 6 to 10 grams of carbohydrates per day. I think that's probably bullshit. It's either something that they've tried immediately, so they've started the ketogenic diet like yesterday, and also, is it long term? Every time you do something like this, you've got to think about the fact is this going to be long term for me? But this person, is it fuck? There's no way that it's going to be long term, because you can live off of like a very, very low carbohydrate intake. This almost sounds like it's complete punishment, and it also just sounds like ignorance, because this isn't really advice. It's just kind of overall numbers that someone's firing at another person, which I feel is wrong. But again, before I kind of get a chance to speak to this person, something else happens. I'm going to read a little bit of this out for you because I feel it's important. Is about time factor, can't spell, and how long you are in keto. From research, after you are in keto for a while, your body will lose ability to break down carbs. It's not the fact that your body loses the ability to break down carbohydrates. It never loses the ability to break down carbohydrates. It's more the fact that you're not feeding your body any carbohydrates, therefore it is using the fuel that you give it. So it's using protein, it's using fats. Yes, ketogenic diets do have a low carbohydrate amount in terms of they really only want you to eat about 50 grams of carbohydrate or less per day. But when it says or less, it doesn't mean like 1 gram, or it doesn't mean like 6, or just some random number. It basically means that you are going to eat less carbohydrate. They want you to eat more types of fibrous foods, and they're also looking for you to start to increase your fats and proteins, and hopefully those fats and proteins also come from foods that aren't highly processed as well. So as a nutrition coach, what I then do is I go back to the original question, and to answer that individual's question, I basically say to her that it is advised within ketogenic dieting that you make sure that you intake a decent amount of fiber, a decent amount of protein, and a decent amount of fat, and that your carbohydrate choices should be from a low processed carbohydrate choice. So no breads, no pastas, no cereals, things like that, no sauces. Try and make sure that your alcohol is low, and also make sure that your sugar content is low. And that's pretty much just very general advice. But this question now starts to grow legs and fucking just run away. We've got a person on here who's basically saying that I eat 0 carbs. I also only eat 1 meal a day, and I've fasted for 51 hours at the weekend. I'm still only 3 weeks in, and I've lost 11.5 pounds. Okay, well done. You've lost 11.5 pounds and you've lost that in 3 weeks. But again, the overall idea of this is to do it for the rest of your life. Do you think that you can only eat 0 carbs for the whole fucking entirety of your life and starve yourself for 53 fucking hours every single weekend? It sounds like a fucking miserable existence. Why does everything have to be where it's taken to the nth degree? I just do not understand why people are advising other people to take ketogenic dieting, intermittent fasting, whatever you're doing. Why does it have to go to the nth degree where it's like, it's basically you're not doing it right unless you're killing yourself? Okay, so last one. Basically, this person has written, I try to stay between 2 and 2.1 grams of carbohydrate per day. Don't be fucking ridiculous. Don't be so fucking stupid. Right, this has now gone to the point where it's no longer advice for the individual person who's written the comment. Basically now what they're saying is, I'm just do fucking whatever I choose to do, and I'm going to use the ketogenic diet as a platform to be able to do that. In my opinion, it's not nutrition advice, it's not ketogenic advice. It is basically a way to starve and punish yourself because you either have put on too much weight and you feel that you need to get out of that cycle of, sort of putting on weight, and so you're trying to stop that. And when I'm working with people, a lot of the time the mentality is to basically say, I want to stop putting on weight, or I want to lose weight. Okay, I'm sick and tired of being big. Fine. Okay, but it's not going to happen quickly. It's not going to happen over a period of days or weeks. If you're someone who's carrying far too much body weight in terms of body fat and you need to lose that, you need to understand that that's going to take time. How long did it take you to put that weight on? I'm pretty sure that you weren't born that size, otherwise you'd have been an absolutely massive baby. You were born at the weight you were, okay, and through either poor choices, bad advice, poor choices of food, possibly lifestyle, possibly that's to do with your family or your social surroundings, or you're basically just someone who's lazy to prepare your food properly or choose your food properly. over time you put on weight, okay? Whatever your personal reason is for putting on weight, or whatever happened in your life, you've put weight on, okay? But if you're carrying, let's say, even if you're carrying 25% more weight than you should do, that is a lot of weight, okay? Therefore, it's going to take a long time for you to drop that weight down. It's going to take something that's going to last for a long time. And the keto diet, the intermittent fasting diet, calorie and macro tracking, whatever you want to do, the things that work for you well, where you're basically saying, I'm going to onboard this diet aligns really well with me. You're basically then trying to say, okay, I need to try and adopt that for pretty much the rest of my life because I like it, it suits me, I like the routine of it, and the food that I can eat suits me. And that's why people choose to do keto dieting. Okay, there are plenty of books, there's plenty of information out there about the keto diet. It's not that hard. All you need to do basically is you need to say, I am going to eat 50 grams of carbohydrates, or maybe slightly less, or maybe slightly more. Do you think that you're going to put on huge amounts of weight if you ate 55 grams of carbohydrate per day? Or one day you completely slipped up and you ate 150 grams of carbohydrate? Do you think that you're going to just fluctuate that quickly? No, you're not going to fluctuate that quickly, okay? I guarantee it. As long as you stay within a regular routine and a regular habitual pattern of your eating and your consumption, and as long as you follow basic rules, then you will over time is the key principle there, lose weight. But to say, oh, I've lost X amount of weight in X amount of time in a very, very short time period, it's not healthy because it's not sustainable. And eventually you're going to get sick and tired of not having any carbohydrate. You're going to get sick and tired of being in this really, really strict routine, which is basically a routine where you can't live a normal life. The whole point of having a diet is it should be part of your lifestyle, okay? Clients that I work with who are on dietary plans that I've written them are still having food that they really enjoy, but are they having it all the time? No. If they slip up, so if they go out on a Friday night and they fuck it up for themselves, they say, oh, I've got to be really good for the weekend now. I say, no, you don't. You just go back to what you were doing previously and then just continue from there. If you have a slip up with your diet, if you eat too much carbohydrate, if you eat something that's got sugar in it, don't go and run 10 kilometers. It's not going to help the situation. Obviously, yes, you can run 10K and fantastic. If you can run 10K, then my hat off to you. But that is not the solution or the correction just because you consume something that you don't want to. We are human, okay? We are creatures of habit, and that's a great thing. But we're also creatures who have emotions, and we also need to be able to deal with the fact that we have social surroundings, social environments, working environments, and we have stress. And the other things as well is that no one ever seems to bother to be able to complement the other things. No one ever says you need to have decent amounts of sleep. You need to be able to manage your stress levels. You need to be able to exercise, okay? Is exercise going to lose you 5 stone? No. Exercise is not going to lose you 5 stone, but exercise is going to help burn off some extra calories, yes, but it's also going to make you fitter, it's going to make you stronger, and it's going to help things like your insulin. So your insulin will become more responsive when you exercise more because your body will know when to give and take, okay? Things such as the gut microbiome are also going to be exponentially benefited by you taking on something like a keto diet, because you're going to be hopefully upping the amount of fiber, upping the amount of better choices of food that you're going to have in your diet. But the ketogenic diet is not there for you to abuse it. It's not there for anyone to advise abuse. And I feel that these comments, although they are hilarious and they're fucking so incorrect, like it's just unreal. Again, these people do not have any backing to be able to say that another person should follow them, because they've got no qualification to. They've got no experience to, let alone the qualification, they've got no experience other than their own. And these people have only done it for a period of time, which is so short, it's just, incomprehensible. The time that they use the diet for is like nothing compared to someone who's been like a client of mine who's been eating really well and taken his fitness really seriously for years and years and years, is in his mid to late 50s now. And he looks fantastic because he's always taken care of his diet, he's always taken care of his fitness. That's someone who's used a lifetime habitual habit around his food, activity, movement, social, work in the right way, so that his body at the later stage of his life is where it needs to be. He's a fit, healthy individual. And that's what I want for you guys. I want for you guys to understand that if you do it the right way, if you take your fucking time, okay, choose something that works for you and just apply it as best you can. And when you slip up, don't punish yourself. Just say, I slipped up and I'll get back onto it the next day. And that is all you need, because losing weight, getting fitter, getting healthier takes time. And if you don't like it, then don't do it, okay? But it is your fault that you are the size you are. It is your fault if you put on too much weight, okay? Like it or not. Whether you can say, oh, it's because my parents taught me to eat like this, or it's because, I get up stressed and blah, blah, blah. Okay, we all understand. These things aren't there to help us, but there is enough information, especially in this day and age, to be able to apply what you read, what you see, and what you can be taught by other people who do know, to be able to lose weight. But for fuck's sake, don't do it yesterday. Do it 6 months, a year down the line, so that you get benefit and you continue to do it for another 6 months, another year, another 5, another 10, another 15, another 20 years. So you have a well-balanced life. All these comments that I've been speaking about are completely imbalanced, and they're not going to help anybody. So that is another Facebook rant for you Facebook fuckers out there. Stop giving people bad information. Instead, be fit, be healthy, and of course, be a boss, bruh.
It's the Yo Bossy Week.